What is the main theme of our story, and what are some other themes you said about?
I think one of the main themes is don't judge people, because Bryce and Julie didn't really know much about each other, and they didn't know exactly what was going on with each other, individually and with their families and stuff like that.
I agree with Lainey because Bryce's dad was being a big jerk about the whole situation. He kept saying that their family was poor, and he kept making Bryce fix up their yard just to make the Bakers think that they were a messy family.
I agree with Hallie because people can change. That's what happened to Bryce and Julie, and that Mr. Lowski went from a nice guy from the very beginning, sort of, and then got to a whole other level of jerk.
I agree with Jaden that people do change. Like Bryce and Julie, they'll change their opinions about each other.
I think the theme is not to judge people if you don't know their situation, because that changed what Julie thought of Bryce. And that's when she overheard Garrett saying that she was a retard like her uncle. And
I think the main theme is to think before you act.
I agree with Alex because Bryce didn't think before he acted, and he was throwing away the eggs and he his feelings.
I agree with Phil because who knows what would have happened if Bryce actually went over to the Lowskis to see if he did have some bakers and salmonella poisoning.
yes.
I agree with JP because when he went over to the bakers, that he kept throwing away the eggs because of how he thought that they would have had the poisoning. What do you think, Kara?
I agree with JP, and I would also like to add that I think Bryce and Julie should have both of them and the light, and just get to know each other.
Do you guys want to move on to the conflict?
Yeah. What is the main conflict of our story, and what are some other conflicts you saw helping move our story forward?
I think that Mr. Lowski judging was mostly the main conflict, because what he did to them was all he did was judge and look at them and didn't see what was actually in the inside. He just looked at the outside and just saw their yard and complained about that the entire story.
One of the conflicts at the end of the story is that Julie did not want to talk with Bryce at all, and he was so desperate to talk to her that he even knocked on her window.
I agree with James because Julie she was in love with Bryce. She loved him when she first saw him because of how he looked, and then she actually found out who he was on the inside, and she decided that she made the wrong choice.
I agree with Hallie because when she started to know Bryce, she started to change because Bryce was being rude and didn't really like her until towards the end of the story.
Alex? I agree with Curtis because at first it was Julie not liking Bryce, and then at first it was Bryce not liking Julie, and then Julie not liking Bryce.
Elizabeth, what do you think?
One of the main conflicts is Julie liking Bryce, but one of the main conflicts is Julie liking Bryce, but Bryce doesn't like her.
What do you think, Billy?
Well, Julie liked Bryce, and then out of nowhere, they flipped, and then now Julie hates Bryce, and Bryce likes her, and then they just kept flipping around the whole time.
What do you think, Leanne?
I also think
I was just gonna ask, was it out of nowhere?
I also agree with all of that, but I also think it was a conflict that Garrett and Bryce in the library talking about Julie, her uncle, and the eggs. And even though that Julie wasn't around, that's still really rude to talk about, and they shouldn't have really brought that up in the first place.
Should we move to the perspective?
What is the importance of perspective in our story?
It is important because you get to see the other person's experience about something. Like, take it, the bakers having dinner with the Luskys. You got to see it from the perspective of Bryce and Julie.
I agree with James because they usually had a different perspective.
I think it makes this story more interesting, personally, because, like James said, the two different perspectives of each setting, and it doesn't get it's not boring with one narrator, but I think it just makes the whole story more interesting because you usually in stories you just hear the one person's perspective, and the other people just add comments, and I think it just makes it more interesting too.
I agree with Lindsay because without perspective, I mean, this might help just a little bit, and it could help you picture a lot more things in your head than you could without perspective. I think they tell you more stuff, and I think one person tells you more stuff and the other tells less, and then they tell it over and over, and it gives you more stuff and more details of what each other said.
I agree with Philip because it's kind of interesting to see the differences between Bryce and Julie and what Bryce has to say and what he thinks about Julie and what Julie has to say and what she thinks about Bryce.
Alex, what are your comments?
I agree with JP because I agree with JP and Lainey, but I want to add, I feel like when Julie started to change, it's because of Bryce, when he didn't really like her and he was throwing away the eggs and when he was in the library, when he would have been able to tell him to stop talking, but he didn't, about how he said that she was dumb like her uncle.
Do you guys want to? Okay. Well, do you guys want to move to summarizing?
Yeah.
Stevie.
What did you learn about summarizing through your experience of the story?
I think it helped me prove it more just because I really wasn't good at it before because it just helped me set more stuff.
I agree with JP. I wasn't really good at summarizing before, and then in the book, it helped me get summarizing easier.
I agree with JP and Kyra. I was so frustrated with summarizing before, but now it seems almost easy.
I agree. I agree with all three of you because I was not that good at it, but then as we started getting through it, it got easier and easier.
How did it get easier? How did it help you?
Because we did it over and over. because that and they would have the same chapter like 2 times. Like Bryce would tell his part, and then Julie would tell her part, and then if you don't get 1 point, it would come back in the next chapter with Julie's.
I agree with JP, and the 2 different perspectives help me get some of things.
I agree with Kyra because it's not retelling and summarizing is what is the most important scenes. It's like better and it just helped me learn more about summarizing.
I agree with Jaden because listening to the chapter pretty much 2 times in a row helped me understand it more.
I agree with JP because, I didn't really know how until, they both got to tell their parts of each chapter. I'm going to put in a question and then I want to see what you guys think with this. Since we all wanted the ending to be like what they would do in the future, what do you guys think they would do in the future together?
I think that Julie let Bryce talk to her. I think that they would probably have kids and probably have dated. And then they would probably broke up if they were older.
I think they would eventually get a divorce because they both didn't like each other at one point.
I don't think they would ever get married, but I think they just become friends and be like that.
I agree with James, and I also think that they'll probably just date, and then when I just am interested to see when the sycamore tree grows, if Julie will still have the same relationship with it as the other one.
I agree with James and Amy because I don't think they would have got into together. I feel like they would have just dated.
You guys did a great job. Sit down. All right, outside circle, what are some of the great things that they did on the inside circle to check? Oh, okay, here. What's that?
What did you think?
Yeah, and that was definitely a nice summarizing question or concluding question to finish it up. Maddie and then.
So I feel like I like how they included everyone, even when some people didn't want to do it. Some people just stopped and didn't do it at all, and still try to include them more.
Okay.
It was described this morning.
Yeah, no hesitation, just jumped right in. Good. Tad?
I kind of got everything in a good amount of time.
Yeah.
Just finished.
Yeah, they were, and who would you say was kind of guiding the time? Yeah, Lainey naturally put some, and there's always, every group has kind of a timekeeper like that. Most groups do. You don't have to, and no one has to be nominated, but each group has its own little dynamic, and that's important to understand and to be aware of.
I like how they kind of. I like how when someone asks that slurs in, they feel go on.
Okay, yeah, and they were considerate of each other, right?
I want to ask how Lee was the timekeeper, but then every once in a while, Carol would be like, let's move on. So
Right, it wasn't, right, one person did not control it. Very good. So what are some things that we could keep in mind for improvement for them and for you as you move into the inside circle? Maddie?
Like when you say let's move on, maybe you do the things. There was some blank space there, a little bit for someone to start jumping in to take the lead.
Okay, good. Lainey, what was your?
Well, we kind of just said we agreed with each other the whole time and no disagreements.
Yeah, so changing it up with your discussion connectors does help the flow because it's like a boring song if you hear the same thing over and over again. So yeah, using different language and discussion connectors is a good idea. Kyra?
I think that some people should have been more included instead of just some of them going on there.
Okay, so have the courage to step in because everyone does want every other person involved and they want to hear what they had to say, because you are all valuable in all of your thoughts, okay? Great job. Okay, so you're very complete, I think. Okay, so bring all your stuff. And then let's just bring your,
I was there.
I didn't know who was okay, because I want to be here and then I will watch it.
I think it's all
Well, maybe a little, I'm sorry.
I'm wearing the same shirt and sitting in the same exact spot.
All right, let's go over face. High five. All right. Feel clear and maybe again.
What's the main theme of the story? What do you guys think the main theme of the story is? Eden?
But I think the main theme is don't judge people if you don't know a lot about them, because that's kind of like what the Loskis were doing about the bakers, because they were like, oh, look at their yard, they're so poor. Even though they didn't even know they were, that they had to pay for their like unholy bills or whatever.
I agree. I just want to add that they were like they didn't know the entire story, so you shouldn't judge the rights covered. Bryce's dad and Bryce were like judging because of their yard and how poor they were, thinking that they couldn't afford to like get their yard done, thinking that they just didn't care.
I liked how the grandpa kind of got to know, or I liked how Chet kind of got to know the bakers before he kind of judged them to help them out a little bit.
I think with Chet, how he helped them, I think that changed like how Julie and Bryce's friendship happened.
David, what do you think?
I agree with that, and I think that Chet was a really big help with the bakers, because Julie was kind of having trouble cleaning up that place, and then when Chet went over there and started to help, it started to come back together.
I would say that I think that we all kind of have like the same point of the theme, but I think I see it a different way. I think that one of the main themes is people can change because Bryce, but I could also see what you guys think, because it's mostly Bryce just changing. Julie doesn't really change, but I still think that it's kind of both.
Should we move on? Okay. What do you think the main conflict is?
The Loskis judging the bakers, because the only stat throughout the whole entire story.
I think it's more of Bryce's dad, Mr. Levski, because he was the one who was like leading Bryce on to like hate them and not want to hang out with Julie because he thought they were weird. At first, I thought the main conflict was that Julie likes Bryce and Bryce didn't like her, but then throughout the book, Bryce flipped.
It's an interesting idea, but I would have to disagree with what Ty and Tashayla kind of had to say, but I'd have to agree with Brooke. I would think that Bryce likes Julie at first, or Julie likes Bryce at first, and then they kind of reverse it, because I think maybe Bryce liked Julie in the beginning, but he didn't really know it yet because he didn't really know her.
I agree with Gracie, because I would say they flipped perspectives. So say that Julie likes Bryce, and Bryce didn't like Julie, and nor did his father. But that they flipped because I guess Bryce now likes Julie. Well, Bryce likes Julie now because of what he was dazing at her in class, saying there was a bee above her head, trying to get out of it.
What do you think?
I agree with Madison. It sort of seems like that Bryce's perspective just sort of like just completely flipped over on its head. I guess like the entire story just changed. So one minute it was Bryce didn't like Julie. Julie was chasing him. Then at the end, it just flipped. Bryce was like sort of after Julie a little bit, and Julie was like trying to ignore him.
Do you agree with him, David?
I agree with Lance and Madison because in the beginning of the story, Bryce thought Julie Baker was this really annoying and obnoxious person. And later in the story, he takes a closer look at her personality, and she realizes she doesn't like Bryce after she looks closer at him.
Can you kind of explain more on that? Like, use evidence.
Well, in the beginning of the story, Bryce, he kept saying how much he wanted to get away from Julie. And Julie kept trying to get closer to him. And later on in the story, Bryce, he started to like Julie because she was more independent. And she stopped liking him because she was eavesdropping and she overheard what she thought was Bryce making fun of her Uncle David.
What do you think? What is the importance of the perspective actually?
Is that you get to see the other side of the story instead of just one person. I agree, and it kind of makes sure to like tell you who's talking because it says like, I was watching my dad paint, and we know that Bryce's dad doesn't paint. He's kind of like.
Well, I agree with them because since we have two people, it'd be kind of weird if we heard Julie talking about their Uncle David and it didn't say it could be Bryce. So the two different perspectives, it shows one point of view on a different subject.
Ty, what do you think about this whole perspective thing?
You know, it's like, it kind of sometimes you said, like only a little bit, because like you know what it is, and then the other person just thinks that they know.
I would like to say that that Julie it kind of explains why one person would do something to us.
Jayla, what do you think?
I like when they did like the different perspectives. They both didn't have like the same thoughts. Where Bryce said he was standing there the entire time at the dinner, but Julie said he was standing in the living room, and then he walked up and just kind of stood there and looked at her.
About the dinner, what do you think about Lynetta calling her dad that name?
I think she called him that name because she was really mad at him. I think she was getting defensive over her friends because he was like insulting them, saying that they were poor and that how did they like afford to make a record deal who didn't really have food. And she got really mad at him and decided to call him that, a donkey.
Yeah, I agree. He was making fun of them, calling them a drug dealer, and she was standing up for them.
And then that's an interesting idea. Do you agree, Lance?
I sort of agree, although I didn't I think I was gone for this chapter.
What do you think the summarizing of the whole story is?
It helped. I like it when we summarize it because it helps me remember more of the stuff because sometimes I forget things, and so it helps me remember most of the main points. So so I don't forget if we're in the really this way.
I think because it helps you compare the two chapters and how different the families was.
I agree with Ethan because summarizing is basically that constant reminder of what's going on in your story.
I agree with Gracie because it does help you remember stuff if you forget it.
I agree with all, like, to add that, it also, like, helps you understand, because there's just a whole bunch of details you can summarize it in the main.
It was a little bit complicated to write each one because you couldn't just copy down the same exact thing in each chapter because of the two different perspectives.
I'm gonna go back. What do you think about like the auction? Bryce trying to kiss Julie.
I thought like I could see where Bryce was coming from, but Julie, I would understand why she backed away instead of kissing him because one minute he likes her. Well, she thought that he was making fun of David with Garrett, making fun of her too. So I would have backed away too because I can see where she's coming from. I think we all were like understanding that why she did that, but at the same time a little shocked because she's always liked Bryce ever since like he came to the neighborhood. I also think that if we go back to Summer's thing, it's in the title why, because like at the beginning she was super excited to have a friend in the neighborhood that she could play with that was her age, and Bryce was like, oh, this girl's crazy because his first
The first
impression wasn't pretty bad. She just like runs up and like, hey, you need help, and like she's pushing up boxes, and then at the end he's just like, oh, I really like her, like I've known her for so long, and then she's just like, Bryce is really neat.
What do you think? Like, how did you want the book to end? And it kind of just stopped and said that he planted the tree in the yard. How did you guys want the book to end?
Well, I kind of wanted like the tree to be grown, and then like see if they're like one of their children is like playing on the tree or something, like Julie was.
I would want the ending like it said, a new chapter or something that said like 1 year later, and then it also get long. I think they should have maybe added a picture or something of like Bryce and her in the tree, like kissing or looking at the sunset.
I myself enjoyed the ending because if they were to add any more like detail to the end of it, I think it would have ended with a cliffhanger, and they would have had to make a sequel to the book.
Well, they kind of end at a cliffhanger.
I would kind of.
You guys got 30 seconds yet, but we're gonna let you go. What we're gonna do is review this when we come back for your period. Good job, guys. Awesome.